this is Colette. Today I'd love to show you how to make this gorgeous double diamond fold card. It's a beautiful card that simply folds up for posting like this. If you want to, you can wrap a pretty ribbon around it to hold it flat. I never do. I just think it's so beautiful and so proud when it stands up and is given to a special person. So we're going to make this gorgeous card, so let's get started. But first things first, let's go shopping. Now I've decided to use the beautiful new papers from Kaisercraft called Hanami Garden. And I'm going to need this one here, which is called Suki. I'm also going to need this beautiful paper here, which is called Sora. I need to use the reverse of this one, but isn't this side just beautiful too? I also need a sheet of makuran. And again, beautiful, but we're going to use the back, which is a lovely plain black with little gold stars on it. And to make my card base, I need a sheet of smooth black cardstock. Also, in this collection, we're going to need the gorgeous Collectables from Kaisercraft. And I'm also going to need some of the red Rhinestones, some of the beautiful gold glitter tape from Kaisercraft, and I will be using the nesting ovals from Kaisercraft. You might want to note the way that I actually pack my dies now. These are great little pouches from Kaisercraft. I keep the magnetic strip and I just pop them inside and I store them away like that. So we're needing the nesting ovals. So the first thing we need to do is to make our card base. Now I'm choosing a white sheet of card so it's easier for you to see. In the card I made, I did use black. So I need to cut this so it's 7 inches by 12 inches. So 7 inches. And I know that this is already 12 inches long. So once I've cut that, I need to actually do some scoring. Okay, so I've got my scoreboard and I've placed the 12 by 7 inch piece of card onto my scoreboard, and I've gone ahead and I have scored at 3 inches, 4.5 inches, 7.5 inches, and finally 9 inches. I then took a pencil and I made a few pencil marks. I'm going to make a pencil mark at 1.5 inches and 10.5 inches. Now I need to do that on the other side, so I'm going to flip that round. And again, a pencil mark at 1.5 and 10.5. I now need to make a pencil mark on the short side. So here we go, 3.5, and the same on the other short side at 3.5. So that's my pencil mark and scoring done for now. I need to grab my paper trimmer and we need to do a few little cuts. Okay, so what I now need to do is cut from that pencil line which is in the middle of the card up to the other pencil line we made. So I'm going to pop that into my trimmer. I'm going to line up the pencil line with the cutting ruler, or the place that it cuts, and then I'm going to go ahead and chop that little triangular piece off. Now I'm going to repeat that on the other end, from the pencil mark up to that other pencil mark. So I've cut off 2 little triangular bits, which gives me this kind of pointed look. Now I'm going to repeat that on the other end. So flipping it round, popping it into my paper trimmer, lining up those pencil marks, chopping and repeating on the other end, and chopping that off. So that's the basic shape for our card. Now we need to go and do a few more score lines. Just a little tip here, when you score, one side of the score has a little raised bump, which is like a little mountain, and the other one has a dent. When you're folding, you want to fold so the bump is on the inside. So I've got my bumps of my vertical lines on the inside, and I'm now going to go ahead and actually fold these. So taking my bone folder, I'm folding all of those vertical ones as valley folds. So valley folds. Okay, so you can see now the 4 have been folded. I'm now going to flip that over because I want the bump. I'm always folding on the bump, and I need to do my diagonal folds. And if you kind of get to grips with this, it really does help with these kind of cards, because you'll find they will naturally fall into position. So you'll notice those diagonal folds I folded on the actual valley. So now when we take this, we can just fold this up, which is this side here, and that then will form our card base. And as always, bone folding it to get it super crisp and nice. And that is our double fold card. So let's have a look at the one that I created. So here we have the folded card, and you can see when it's opened out, that's how we've done it. So the next thing we have to do is to cover our panels, which could seem a little bit daunting, but I have an easy way for you to do that. So for the covering, what I suggest you do is you make yourself another template. And you can see what I have done here. I made myself another template, and I took an end section and cut that apart on the score lines, and then took each of these pieces and took off 1/8 of an inch all around. That then enabled me to create a template that I could put onto my patterned paper and trace around. So when you actually look, you can see they're just all slightly smaller than the actual panel itself. Now the good news is you don't have to do this for every card, because once you've got your template, you can file that away for next time. So as I said, it's simply a case of taking one of the ends. You don't need both because both ends are exactly the same size-wise. Cutting them up, cutting 1/8 of an inch off all the way around on all sides, and then that's your master template. So here's my beautiful card with these absolutely gorgeous papers. So you can see I've used the black and gold on the outside and also on the little triangular ones, and I have done these little triangles here as well. And the center section is pretty straightforward. You simply cut a piece, and in this instance I did a fussy cut. I rather liked this seam down here from this Suki paper, and I basically cut a panel of that out that would fit inside here, and that was basically 2 7/8 of an inch by 6 7/8 of an inch, and that was for that center panel. And then I've adorned it with the beautiful collectibles, and I've made this gorgeous little geisha girl, which I'm going to show you how to make in just a moment. One other little tip though, with the black paper, you'll find that it actually has a white edge, and if you find that with any of your papers, just grab yourself a black marker. I always tend to use the black calligraphy pen, and all you simply do is to take your black paper with that white edge and you run it all the way down, and that totally takes away. So you can see here black, you can see on top there it's white. So that little tip does make it look a little bit better. So my gorgeous geisha girl, well, she's up next. Okay, so for the geisha girl's body, I have here 2 pieces of cardstock which measure 2 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches, and I've stuck them together so they're nice and strong. Of course, if you have chipboard, use a single piece of chipboard, that would be great. I just don't have any at the moment here to hand. Now what I need to do is I need to make a pencil mark at the top on the short side at about 1/2 inches on one side, and I need to do that the same on the other side, so at about 1/2 inch. So you can use a ruler, I just use my Kaiser trimmer here, and I also need to make another pencil mark which is going to be 3/4 of an inch down. Okay, pencil mark here, pencil mark here. And then what I need to do is I need to chop away the corners. Okay, and the other side. So pencil line to pencil line. So that there is my little girl's body. So there's the little body. Now what I need to do is I need to punch out a 1-inch circle, or a circle similar to that size. If you've got your dies, you could do that with a die. And I've also taken the smallest oval die from Kaisercraft's nesting die. Sorry, the second smallest. And I've cut that out in the black paper that comes with this particular collection. So it's not a solid heavy black, it's quite a nice black. And I simply need to chop off some. So what I'm going to do here is just about a quarter would be fine. So that's chopped off. Okay, and then that basically is going to become her head. So let me show you how you put this together. Okay, so there's the little girl's body bits. And you can see the white edge on this, can't you? So I need to get rid of that, and my black pen, I'm simply going to just go all the way around it. And the reason why I like to use a calligraphy nib is that it doesn't go astray like the bullet points. So it's really easy to use. And this is the Zig calligraphy pen. So now putting those down, you can see all those white edges are totally gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the head and I'm going to stick that down. So you decide kind of where you want it to go. That looks quite nice. This is the top fringe that's going to go on top of the head. Okay, so she's looking quite sweet there. And the body, all we're going to do is actually, before we connect the body to the head, we need to decorate the body. So to decorate the body, what I've got here is I have got a piece of paper, which is the Sora paper, and I've kept on this beautiful braid, which is the barcode piece, and I've cut this to 6 inches by 3 inches, should be about right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my body in this. So you want a little bit of the neck showing. That would be about right, I guess. And I'm simply going to take this and I'm going to fold that down like that. So you can see I've hugged the shoulder. Now I need to get rid of this little excess piece here. So I'm simply going to chop that bit away. Okay. Now I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. I am going to hug the shoulders and fold that down. Excellent. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive in there just to connect them and keep them together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to feel for that body and we're going to wrap this round to the back. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So feel for the body. That's why we needed to use 2 pieces of card or a piece of chipboard. Okay, now grab your bone folder and give that a really nice creasing. Okay, so now what I want to do is I need to stick these bits at the back down. So a little bit of tape. And a bit of tape there just to hold that. So now what I need to do is I just need to find the end of the body again, and then I'm simply going to grab my paper trimmer and chop off all that excess. And the thing I love about the Kaisercraft paper trimmer, there's about 5 layers of card here. It's going to cut this beautifully. If you have a non-rotary trimmer, you might need to do that a couple of times. But there you go, that's her little body, all finished and dressed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put her band on. And the band is simply some of this Kaisercraft gold glitter. I tend to tear it, I don't have patience for drawing. And we're just going to pop that across where you think you want it to go and wrap that round the back. Now this glitters, this tape here is not the best sticking tape, so you do want to put a bit of adhesive down. And another little tip just to show you here, I've got obviously the Kaisercraft glues, which are great. What I like to do is decanter. These are little bottles from, I think, Couture Creations, and I decanter them in. This little nib just keeps it super ready to go all the time, and I can get just such a lovely little puddle of glue out. So it's very controlled. Sometimes the bigger bottles, it kind of gets all over the place. So 1 and 2, so that's down. And she's looking quite pretty. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to connect her head. And all we do here, on the back of this, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to slip that behind like that. There you go, she's looking very adorable. Now on my little geisha girl, just finishing off touches, if we take a little look here, so you can see what I've done is I've given her a little trim that I wrap around the gold. This was simply dental floss that I coloured in with a red Copic marker or a red permanent pen. And then I've drawn a little face in. I've kept it very simple. And this beautiful little flower was from the Kaisercraft Collectables, and then I finished off with that little rhinestone. So that's how she's made. And you know, you can make lots of these little geisha girls because they are super cute and just lovely, and very often I will do a whole load of them, and now I've got this lovely Japanese paper, I will do a load of them again, and I will pop a little magnet on the back. I will say, with love from Colette, and then I will just pop that inside my card, not sticking it down, because then it becomes a lovely little fridge magnet, another personal little gift that you can slip into a card. So I really like that idea. So that's my double gatefold card with my gorgeous little geisha girl. I hope you like her. I hope you get a chance to give it a go. Now don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. There's over 45 different cards just like this that I know many of you are working your way through. And I've given you a link here for the Kaisercraft blog, so you can pop over to the Kaisercraft blog where there's more details and pictures on this card, and also there's great projects from the rest of the design team. So my name's Colette. Thank you so much for checking in today. Until next time, bye for now.